All right, we've been having a long discussion about everything for Bloodlords for about an hour now, but now all of it will be on record. Everything that we just said was not on record, but now we're on record, so everyone behave.
No.
Behave accordingly.
Okay, I can do that.
Now, I want to make it clear, before we continue, our, that I am a placeholder. No Juju will not be DMing your campaign
Aw,
for the
man.
entirety of the campaign.
This is bullshit.
I am getting changed, and it will take me 1 week, so I'm possessing my cat in the meantime. But welcome everybody to Bloodlords Session 0. Now, we have our party, which again are also placeholders at the moment, for the ones that are in the bottom left. Only Kaz there and what would you like me to call you? Kolo?
Mr. Kowalski.
Mr. Kowalski. And Mr. Kowalski over there are already officially done on their art and whatnot. Ren, if at any point you do want to swap to Phaedrith's art for your portrait, you just gotta swap your Fuki tech to it.
Okay. I don't have the PNG for the token though.
Oh, not for the token. As you can see, like on the stream, it's
Not
the
in
squares. It's the squares.
I don't know what you want me to do with this information. I'm sorry.
I can change your Fuki tech myself. 1 sec.
I thought I changed it. Oh, it's not changed. Here we go. Ew.
There we go. Okay, let me swap that over. Boop.
Ah, how dare you manhandle me?
I'm trying to bait you in. Give me 1
kill you.
second.
Biting you. Biting your hands. Leave me alone. Unhand me.
No. There we go. All right. So, welcome everybody to Bloodlords Session 0. For a campaign that spans the entirety of Geb. Geb, which is the land of the dead. I'll read the player guy's intro. If you're hearing this, it means you and your friends have decided you might like to play Bloodlords. In this campaign for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you'll be taking on first level characters all the way to 20, and the role of an aspiring troubleshooters in a nation run by ageless undead and cunning living people who rub shoulders with them. The nation is ruled by a ghost king named Dead, who, in a characteristic bit of hubris, named his nation after himself, but the real work of running his nation is in the fractious council of about 60 people called the Bloodlords. The Bloodlords are predominantly, but not exclusively, undead, and are predominantly, but not exclusively, necromancers. Anyone can join this council if they have enough luck, skill, and tenacity. And your characters are destined to join them, scheming your way to the top. But in order to do that, if you can do that, as you bottom of the ladder rung yourselves, you'll need to vanquish foes, curry favor with politicians, and occasionally betray some of your own NPC allies to succeed here in Geb. If you die trying, well, the undead rule Geb just as much as the living. And that should be no stop to our campaign, won't it? As for our tone, where we'll be starting, of course we'll be starting in the bone-shrouded Grey Dirt, remote city in the eastern foothills of the Shattered Range. And this campaign is going to be, in a word, horrifying. It should be turning anything horrific. Horror, if you will. We'll be having horror, we'll be having laughs. This is an ancient and grim setting, but anytime that this campaign should go into something extremely dark, let it be known, and let this be the one and only conjecture, the disclaimer that I'll put, and maybe make a little little flash sheet for whenever I upload it to YouTube. Nothing that we or the characters do in this campaign is beholden or agreed upon by the player characters and our views as people. All horrific events should be taken lightly and comically to make fun of their real-world counterparts. And if you see any comparison in the nation of Geb to real-world politics, well, that should make you take a hard look in the mirror about your politics and the world that you're living in, and laugh. Do I have an agreement from everyone on that statement?
Ab.
Yes.
Jay.
Geb.
In Geb we trust.
In Geb we trust. Darby? Darby?
Indeed.
Very well. Secondarily, I don't want to hear a goddamn. This is a Geb damn kind of household now. During our sessions, we damn Geb, or have Geb damn others.
Wait.
Huh?
It says in the player guide, actually, Adamara, that you cannot take Geb's name in vain.
It does. You
Just wanna strike you
cannot.
down.
You cannot take Geb's name in vain. I don't want to hear anyone say, "Oh my Geb," or something similar of the kind. You should say, "Geb, oh Geb." You should worship Geb. Geb is your king, your god king, your ruler, and everything you could ever need. Geb is love. Geb is unlife. Yes? Agreed?
It's my journey and my mission to romance Geb in this campaign.
You're welcome to try. You're welcome to try. You are certainly welcome to try.
I mean, hey, there's a vacancy now.
True.
Yeah. So, thank you for leading me into that. The big draw of this campaign that should be guiding all of your characters is that this is the first time in quite literally 6,000 years that Geb is in a state of change. For all this time, Arazni was ruling, a unbeholden and forced ruler of Geb. She, upon realizing that the stirred flesh forges of Nex and the Quantinium itself has begun to flare up 4 years ago, she left. She did the best she could while Geb was distracted by this new, appearance, an idea of power, and she has abandoned Geb and went out in a pretty big flare. But none of your characters are allowed to speak about Arazni. She never ruled. That was always Geb, right? Right, everybody?
Yeah.
Geb
Yeah.
voted him.
Yeah, man, sure.
It was Geb doing all the hard work. Is that right, Red? Red?
Geb.
Okay.
That's right.
To that point, to be clear, Geb is in a state of change towards war. Much to the dismay or may of every citizen involved. Geb has always been ready for the return of Nex and the war that they started a long time ago, and has been in a cold war with them ever since that fateful day that Nex left Galarion. But now, it's time for change-ups. Whether the people of Geb and the politicians and powerful individuals in Geb want it or not. One of the first things that Geb did was establish a war council, and the entire nation has been entreating with all other nations and are pushing towards this, expansion to be ready for it. And that has created chaos. And as a horrific man once said, chaos is a ladder. And it's your guys' chance to climb such ladder. As long as you make the right choices, you could find yourselves in extremely powerful positions across all of Galarion. How's that sound?
Yippee! Wow.
Now, unfortunately, you guys aren't starting in such powerful positions. You'll have to actually work your way up from the dirt. You'll be starting out in Greydirge, a small and free of invasions and disasters for thousands of years that nothing really happens in. It has impressive fortifications of bone and stone, a sizable population of ghouls and necromancers, and it is known for its zombie-tilled fields that surround it for miles in every direction. that provided natural and unnatural barriers to and willing vaders. So, Session 0 checklist will begin now. And before we get anywhere close to all of the very long list that I'll go into for you guys to get snacks and drinks and talk about, is there anything you guys want to talk about the beginnings of this campaign, about what you guys have to expect, things to warn the audience of, anything like that? That I haven't.
Food-related horror.
Food-related horror will be involved.
Yes.
Very well. Food-related horror will be involved. That's not usually around Bloodlords. Mostly. Sometimes. Wink. But more food-related horror will be involved than usual. Thank you for that, Caleb. I mean, Kaz. Ooh, it's too soon, man.
Too soon.
Rotting in that grave. My bad. Oh, secondarily, any relation or, let's say, recognition of characters, names, or portraits of characters that are in this campaign to some random campaign known as Rusthenge are merely coincidental and entirely your own mind, and you should ignore them. These characters are completely different from the ones that appear in that adventure and have no relation to them. Merely think of them as figments of your imagination that involve and exist somewhere else, and not the real thing. I want to get that out of the way, too. Okay. Sounds like we're ready to go? Yeah?
Yep.
Alright. First things first. Fucking milestone. Milestone, everybody. We're doing milestone. I don't want to hear anything from Darby. I don't want to hear anything from Darby. I don't want to hear anything from anyone.
Sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Man, my XP.
Uh-huh. Darby, do you have anything to say about that?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Now, on my time, you all know my pet peeves, but to keep them above the board, I will allow some amount of drinking if you would like to, just as long as it doesn't become a problem. The same thing goes with narcotics. Just do your best, do what you can, and sometimes you gotta have fun. Don't take this game too seriously, of course. When it comes to digital devices and your attention, I expect you to pay enough attention that you do not require me to reiterate something, not because you were distracted by something else, but because you were not paying attention. The only time that it will become an issue is if it is disrupting the game. If it's a quick thing every once in a while, no problem at all. If it becomes a thing that happens often, then we're going to have a problem. Sound good?
Yes.
Perfect. Disruptive topics. I don't want to hear anything about, You know what? I think it's fine to talk about disruptive topics in relation to this this setting, whenever it comes up. We'll keep it to a minimum as you can, but sports and strange things like that have no place in Bloodlords or in Galarion. I do not want to get into any heated subjects like that, especially when we're in the middle of game time. These are things you guys understand and expect, but if you're wondering why we're not talking about random things, that's why. Next up is unannounced dice rolls. You need to tell me if you're gonna roll. You need to ask me what you're gonna roll, unless it's for comedic effect, then I am allowing it. Usually. But make sure that you are telling me what you're doing. If you do not say anything for what's happening right now and you expect me to just understand you whenever you haven't communicated, then I will not consider those real rolls. I will ask you to clarify, and then you'll re-roll them. So. Excuse me? Excuse me?
I half expected some of you to roll dice when you said that, but good rating it in.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. This is
restraint is endless.
This is the next one, which is dice rolls against one another. This one's important because we are in an extremely evil party, an extremely evil campaign. Dice rolls against each other might be okay, if allowed, but they will not be forced upon you. When it comes to asking, hey, can I roll a diplomacy check against Phaedrith to convince them not to torture this guy too hard? Then, like, Phaedrith, if you allow it, then I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should be able to just ask for it. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. To that extent, PvP, I've always ruled it this way, but PvP is like tossing a hot potato between each other. I have never played in a campaign where rolling an actual attack against a friend that was not forced by a weapon or spell ended with anything less than a player being removed from the table by the end of the session or before the next week starts. When it comes to actual PvP, what I want is you guys to tell me what's happening, no dice rolls needed, and understand that it's not anything personal to the other player. For example, if you said, oh, for making the dumbest joke about bones for the 70th session in a row, I slap Kaz. And then Kaz, you would tell me if it hits or not. Like, you get to decide what happens to your character.
It misses, and then I suplex them.
Right, and then they get to say, oh, well, you miss, and you dodge out of the way, right? It's basically like handing a hot potato between each
I
other.
cast a shield.
Exactly.
I summon meteor.
Fireball, fireball, fireball.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! PC secrets. This will be a big one. An extremely big one. Are you guys allowed to... Now, to be clear, this has nothing to do with your backstories. What's in your backstories is in your backstories. You don't need to tell anybody shit. But when it comes to gameplay, when you learn things, are you allowed to keep in-game secrets from the party?
Yes.
Yeah, but be
Yeah.
prepared to deal with the consequences.
I guess it depends. Like, if it's really, like, important quest stuff, then, like, maybe not. But, like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's, like, best judgment kind of situation. I don't know.
Don't do
I'm
it if
not
it's the
opposed to
main
them.
plot, maybe?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I had to, like, describe it in a way that, I don't know, because I don't mind them. I think they're cool. I just, like, if it's going to prevent us from progressing, I guess
think-
is my,
I think bring it above the table for discussion.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, everyone, here comes the one that I'm looking for more than any of them. And this might sway where the campaign goes, and if we do it or not. Expectations, goals, and diversity. Everyone's fun is subjective, just like everyone's opinions and comedy. If you're here to murder the innocent lives of the quick, because they are, of course, second-class citizens as we all know them to be, if you are here to roleplay with sweet Bone Daddy and entreat into the Bloodlord's bedrooms, if you are here to just eat and kill shit and roll into combat, I need to know what everyone's expectations is for the campaign. I would like everyone to tell me what you're expecting from this campaign and how, so that I can help you meet them and to have it happen during it. But I will tell you that my expectations of this campaign is to be a grim, dark comedy with mystery overtones that involves the politics and the entirety of Geb and its place in the world. In particular, your characters and climbing a ladder of power. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's my expectations for this. There will be combat. There will be roleplay. I want to spend whole sessions in roleplay if we have to sometimes. I want you guys to be able to go around. I want you to talk to each other. I want you to make friends. I want you to make enemies. I want you to make frenemies. I want you to fight frenemies. I want you to kiss frenemies if you need to. You know? Lips be damned or not. I don't care if you kiss a skeleton.
Cook the frenemies.
Let's go.
That's right. That all said and done, I want each of your guys' expectations for this game so that I know, and I will be writing this down to be clear. Pockets. Let's go with you. You seem like
Yeah.
you're a well adjusted person.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
So I'll be playing Halish, an Orexy, let's say cleric of gosh, what's her name again?
Urgathol?
Urgathoa.
Mhm.
And his goals in the entire campaign is to kind of make Geb, the nation, one of the greatest exporters of food. So that's kind of like what his expectations are.
Okay. That's what your expectation is for. What's your expectation as a player for how this
Oh.
campaign would go? How would it feel? I like that. I wrote it down.
I'm expecting it to be kind of like almost slapstick like in moments, but also like maybe some serious tones at points.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. To answer that and to help you, yes, there will be absolutely serious points that should be taken extremely seriously. In particular, around levels, I would say the last like bits of the campaign, whenever you guys have fully established, if you get there, should feel relatively serious. And even early on in levels, there'll be areas that involve neglect and abuse. To innocent and should be taken seriously even though your characters are evil, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Secondarily, some overtones that I want to also put in mind is necromancy and politic games in particular are well known for their ability to mess with minds. You should be aware that there might be some mind manipulation when it comes to characters because you guys saw it in Rustenge. It happened. Someone got held down for a day and got their brain wiped and told that they were best friends with the one character, right? That stuff just happens with high-powered politics. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Ren,
Huh?
what's your expectations for this campaign?
That's such a vague and loaded question.
Well, no, what I was saying, like, do you want to kill monsters? Are you wanting to see a lot of cool, like, enemies? Are you wanting to spend most of the time in cities? What are your, like, you know...
My big thing is like I like character centric focused campaigns. I like to do a lot of yapping. I like to do a lot of RP. That's mainly what I go for. But I do love seeing the cool monsters because then I get to learn more about cool monsters and who doesn't like that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good RP, good monsters. Thumbs up emoji.
Good RP, good monsters. Got it. Okay. How are you with governmental politics? Mm-hmm.
Do you want the real Ren answer to that, or
How are you with
Bloodlords?
How are you with fantasy undead politics?
Sounds like fun.
Okay. Muffins, hit me with it.
I crave blood.
Brother,
I
crave violence.
for this though. I love politics like a lot. I love role playing with politics. So that's I guess that's kind of my expectations are, but would be a liar if I said I'm not also kind of a little bit of a murder hobo deep down inside. So like I like doing combat a lot, but I also am really a big fan of politics. So like those two things I think would be like I'm expecting to fight vampires, liches, undead creatures, maybe some priests of Pharasma, while also navigating the political climate of Kip.
Okay. What about you, Darby?
Political manipulation and making deals.
Yippee!
Okay. And what about you, Ren?
I'm excited to try out a political campaign that seems focused towards that. Yeah, and I would say initially, I don't think my character will probably fit in very well, but don't worry. I'm not doing that on purpose. It will eventually grow into,
A
whatever.
beautiful butterfly.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Phaedra's not gonna fit in it first either.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm expecting us to be very angry when our NPC that we thought was our friend suddenly betrays us, like the week later, and we're all like, and we all scream, we're like, what? Yeah, that's what I'm expecting is gonna happen.
Okay.
Like, how could that guy betray us? How dare you? But you told us right now, so it's on record that you'll probably betray. Because some people really don't like that when the NPCs fool you.
Yeah, they don't like being lied to by the GM. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, I will be lying to you guys during this campaign, that's for sure.
Okay.
I want to put one thing clear then, because I have heard there's one thing that is a big part of this that I haven't heard that I need to put down with expectations. Well, it's kind of two things. One, you will be traveling. I will skim over the travel for the most part, but expect to be in multiple cities. This campaign, if you go the whole way, should take you to every big location in Geb. So expect to learn everything about Geb. I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that, but like that's a big part
I like
of it.
lore.
Mm-hmm.
I like lore.
Okay.
I'm learning about cities.
Okay.
I'm all about that shit. Tell me everything.
Okay. Secondarily, I need to be 100% clear. This is 100% an adventure. There is going to be a lot of fighting, a lot of combat, a lot of danger. You won't just be RPing. Like, I need to be clear that there will be days worth of adventuring and getting tasks to go out and deal with things and full-on fighting, putting your lives on the line and ripping things apart. So I want to get that out of the way, that you will also be doing that between the politicking. Sometimes in the middle of politicking. Smile.
I'm squinting at you.
All right, let's finish our diplomatic mission now. Now that guy's dead.
All right. Next up, we're going to go with discomfort. Now, I could tell you all the triggers of this game. Death, gore, suicide, every method of death possible, probably, is involved in this game. The melancholy of being undead, the melancholy of death, grief, abuse, neglect, obsession, everything's in this game, right? Just about. Again, I can't go over them all, and at some point you may grow uncomfortable with something. You may have a point that happens and you realize, oh, I'm not okay with this. For that reason, I have left in the X card in this campaign. If at any point you guys become too uncomfortable, either you can try to DM me. Of course, whenever my stream is on, it's hard for me to hear it, but do your best to communicate to me. If you can't communicate to me, you'll see at the top left there should be a chat bubble with an X. Do not click it. There is on your menu on the top left, there is a chat bubble with an X, and if you ever click that, it will immediately display to me anonymously to stop, take a pause, go to break on live stream, and we can discuss what's happening, or we can try to just end the scene as fast as possible or time you want me a bit. Sounds good?
Okay.
My intention, though, is that it becomes funny enough that like even the dark parts are funny, not discomfortable. It is to be taken as a joke, not as a that sort of thing. Player agency. You guys will have a ton of agency in this campaign. If you haven't already noticed, you have a subsystem about it. Your guys' decisions, because there are 5 big political groups, that every single politic that exists, every bloodlord, every person usually is allied with a great faction. For example, you already know who your current known bloodlord is affiliated with. Your current Berline Hadoli, that you are getting like the stepping stone of, is a reanimator herself. She has extreme interests within the reanimating guild, within keeping the zombie farms, maintained. So every single bloodlord, including if you guys want to grow into power at all, you will need to have someone either backing all of you which you guys will be treating as a party, or try to get as many on your side as possible. Now that might be tough, and I will go over each of the 5 factions before the session 0 is over, because they fucking hate each other. Of course, right? So, if you like one, the other will not like you, and will actively deter you from getting their benefits. Sounds good?
Mhm.
Excellent. Rules debates. Should be relatively simple. This is an actually built system, unlike Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'll just literally search it up and answer that in 5 seconds. Sounds good? Spotlight sharing. Each of your characters have been carefully crafted to have moments. I have already, for most of you, figured out good areas, like strong, wide areas that your characters will be big in. For example, easy one, you have a Cthulhu. There is a Zon Cthulhu temple in Great Urge. There is probably going to be some spotlight on your Cthulhu in that area. Try your best to either engage with it, and more importantly to you, Ren, try to engage your party in your spotlight, right? Ask them how they feel about it, what they would do, all that stuff, you know?
Okay.
Just an overall reminder. Now, one thing that is not usually enjoyed is stealing the spotlight. Now, you're allowed to introduce your character's opinions into an area, but careful in the cross-table talk. Okay? I don't want anybody to feel like their voice is being trampled by other players.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is everyone on optimization? I need to know right now, Darby, Ren, Pockets, Muffin.
I'm bad at it.
How optimized are your characters right now? And how do you optimize do you plan them for the be?
Yeah. I mean, Thaunters isn't that hard to optimize. You do like big damage. Like that's what you do. I mean, so I would say yes, I'm optimized, but like not on purpose.
Sure.
Yeah, I need to know what we're fighting more so to be more optimized. That's basketball choice.
Okay, sounds good.
During the beginning sessions, I'm probably going to be unoptimized in combat, just as a warning to people.
Okay. Just to note, you guys are level 5, so you have a lot of leeway on that. Do not feel as though you need to be the best that you can possibly be, because you have an additional party member to kind of ease that in. Okay. Lastly, character party fit. I do not want to see any characters that cannot engage in politics. If you do not believe that your character can engage in the politics, in the 5 great factions, in talking with powerful individuals and understanding your place in Geb, then your character will likely not be a fit for this campaign. Unless you actively are okay with that character being a second or bodyguard to another character in the party, if that makes any sense at all. Think like
Oh, I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Exactly. I will allow that character in the party, if you want nothing to do with politics, only if you are welcome to be beholden as a guardian to another character and their politicking. Sounds cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys know how I DM. You guys know I like to give you guys some player narrative authority. You guys know my pet peeves. I don't like repeating myself. I don't like feeling like I'm not being listened to. If you guys are actively engaging, doing some cool stuff, I wanna help you do that. I'm gonna do my best to let you guys do really cool stuff. I wanna help you guys jump off of each other. You know, this is a collaborative storytelling thing. I'm gonna do my best for it. How are we feeling about player absences, though? How many do we play with? What's the minimum? What's the maximum?
I'd say probably like 3.
Play with 3?
Is a minimum.
Oh, I would say 4.
Really?
Just because, you know, RP is nice when everyone is there. So, like, 4 is nice for that. And then, like, if we have combat, running a combat with 3 is also kind of tough.
So, I meant to ask this before because I've seen it, but, like, it hasn't happened since any of, like, the ones I've been in. if we're in a combat situation, could somebody not control someone else's character for the day?
Yes.
You can.
But
You
Can
go ahead,
early.
Robin.
yeah,
Once you get
Pathfinder
to
characters
15,
are a little
you're looking
complicated.
at, 17 or 18 feet.
Yeah. So
And-
like it's okay for like early level, but once you hit like level 6, it gets kind of difficult to maintain 2 full characters at once, especially with a character you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it were like extended absences, I would absolutely like agree. But for the one day, I don't.
Okay.
Maybe yeah, because I mean, if somebody dies on that day, it's gonna feel really even
That's what
extra.
I mean. It's gonna feel
extra
bad if
bad.
something happens. Yeah.
It will. I will also say I will refuse to take on your character after level 6. I have tried. I will not do it. I will not play your character because I do not know how to optimally without getting you killed. Just genuinely. I do not trust myself. I have tried to take on higher than 6th level characters as the GM. But between me dealing with level 17 monsters, with level like 10 monsters with their own problems, and then positioning and all that, I won't take over your guys' characters after level 6. If that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else on that topic? So we're saying 4, 3 at the early levels. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else at the party here have any pet peeves as players? Or have anything that they want to say, not for the other parties, even though you're evil, to do during the campaign? I'm assuming a lot of things are on the table. Be a little bit dickish to each other because you're evil. And we all know it's funny ha-has. But, what's some pet peeves, what's some problems you guys don't want seen here with this campaign? Pockets, you start.
I can't think of anything that's a pet peeve off the top of my head. I don't even know if I had anything for Rustic. But generally, play along with people, try to talk through any problems you might have with other players. Go happy.
Okay. Ren, do you have any pet peeves so far in the games that you've played?
Not really. I'm more so absorbed in how I'm doing to be pet peeved by anyone else.
Even
I
me?
think. Well, you pet peeve me all the time, so it's just like how we live now. But no, I think my only thing that I could probably just say to the rest of the party is that I know I have a tendency, if I get really into it, to just get to yapping. So if I be yapping too much, like, please don't feel bad about being like, hey, yo, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, let other people talk. I don't mind. Because I'd be yapping.
Okay. What about you, Muffin?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Go on.
No, I don't.
Go on. I have my notepad.
I like leaned forward in my chair. I was like, oh shit, let's hear it.
I have
Little
my
tiny.
my flesh bag slave like bent over on his back for me to inscribe these pet peeves into. Go on.
Whoa. Okay. Well, muffle his
Yeah,
screams. Here we go. I really hate background noise. Like, it's a really big pet peeve of mine. I can't focus when there's background noise. I'm talking like open mic kind of situation. Any children crying. That's a big one. I can take dogs barking, but just open mics with background noise kind of throw me off because I get very distracted. Especially if you decide to eat into your microphone and make those glorious chewing sounds. Makes you want to punch you. Don't do that. Other than that, I don't really think so. No. I'm chill. That's it.
In the vein of open mic background noises, if you do hear anything from my mic, let me know and I will do my best to stop it.
Like, if it happens once, it's like, man, oh well. I'm not like consistent. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
damn.
even
Anyway.
once, like that's something I'd be self-conscious about myself to make sure that I good a good environment for not just you, but also like the people that we're streaming to and everyone else.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Movin. It's a good
No
one.
problem.
This is an ASMR stream.
Oh, great. I just finished my burger.
Oh, perfect. What about you, Darby? Any pet peeves? Especially through Pathfinder that you've seen so far? Gears turning.
Nothing I can think of that like will come up. I don't think.
Okay. And what about you, Red?
I think, so I haven't played Pathfinder that long, but the system is really strict on like success versus failure. So I'm thinking dwelling on the failures of, like you rolled a check and you failed, like I don't know, waiting to like, I don't know. I'd prefer that it's failure. Okay, you made the check, you failed, we move on. Like dwelling on it, because I just feel like a lot of times you may have built your character one way, but they're not good at that, and then
I think I understand what you mean.
yeah, because sometimes it's like, oh, you need to do this check, this specific check, and then like, okay, can I use this skill? No, you have to use that skill. Well, I'm not, not good at that skill. I failed. All right, and we move on. Or try something else.
Unless it's a momentous thing like a persuasion or a diplomacy check against a big figure and you fail, right? And then we go into the repercussions of that. But instead, it would be just continue into the repercussions. Don't linger on it like, oh, blah, 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 and then like,
I tried to climb the
re-roll.
wall. I'm really good at climbing walls. I failed. Okay. I didn't climb the wall.
You didn't climb the wall. You slipped. That's it.
No.
Okay, sounds good. I won't go into gruesome detail about your fingernails being pinched and broken. I understand.
Sure.
I understand.
I think that's just towards the system, because it's almost incentivizes you not to roll. Like if you're not good at a thing, you probably shouldn't be rolling, which I don't like too much about the system, but it is what it is.
A big thing that I think a lot of GMs and need to throw out more often is follow the expert being a thing.
Oh.
I think that needs.
Don't you worry, Adamara.
Mhm.
I'm gonna cook up some freaking cooperative waffles for us once I can actually cook.
That's what I was about to say.
Hell yeah.
So
Don't you worry.
that'll be a rule thing I'm going to get into, but I am allowing follow the expert for diplomacy, deception, and intimidation in this campaign. So when you're in exploration mode, which is while you're talking and role-playing to people, you can follow the expert, someone else, and take their bonus from them being trained. So like +4 if they're trained, I think it is, +8 if they're expert. And you get to take that rather than your own bonus. It's because you have people of influence beside you. You are a party, not just one person. And if you have a big intimidation red, for example, someone else can follow you as an expert on intimidation because you're standing there being an intimidating bastard, right? And they get your bonus to intimidation even though they're the ones talking. And I think that will help break that kind of situation, right? Okay. I'm just saying that I am allowing that to everybody. You guys don't necessarily need to double up too much on it unless you want to be specially designed in it. All right. Next up, we're going to go to some pretty nasty stuff. So this is going to involve the more particularly difficult topics. It's not my intention to go over them with any amount of brevity or lightness, but I'm just going to go through the things that won't be in the campaign. This is for viewers and for the players alike, so bear with me for a second here. First off, gender and gender roles. They're not in Geb. There is no gender roles in Geb, as far as I am at all aware. The only societal roles that really apply in Geb is whether or not you are alive or whether or not you are dead. And beyond that, it doesn't matter. Now, what does matter is if your fellow party mates, players, or even our viewers, even if you don't really care about gender roles or you feel as though you shouldn't be forced to use pronouns, that's not the point. The point is to respect other people's care for it, because a little bit goes a long way. For that note, I do want to take the opportunity to go through every character's pronoun really quick, if that's okay. And I will have them tagged whenever I eventually make our desk that has everyone's portraits. First up, Halish.
Halish is he, him.
Phaedrith.
Sorry. Fade is they, them, very rarely he, him.
Okay. Kaz.
He, him.
Mr. Kolowski.
He, him.
Unnamed red character.
Yeah, he, him.
Okay, sounds good.
No,
Man, we
chicks
just got some
allowed.
dudes being
This
guys.
is
at
this is
this
a
party.
this is a
No
dude
chicks
party.
allowed.
Every single character in this party is a dude. Sounds
no
good.
girls allowed.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Glad that we have that out of the way, and that is set in stone. Now then, this I will put out in a safety checklist that I still have yet to put out, that I'll put at the end of it. But I'm going to send in private your guys' opinion on whether or not how much romance should be in the game, and I'll talk to each of you guys in private so you can measure that. Something that the viewers don't necessarily need to be involved with. But I will say, I expect the gore that I describe to be particularly nasty sometimes, considering the creatures that you will be facing up against and what they will do to you. So, what would you guys like my rating to be on gore? You guys thinking adults only, like gore fest, just for fun, like to have fun with it whenever it is applicable? I won't be gratuitous for no reason, for no application at all. Or you guys kind of more wanted me to be like a Saw movie, or like hanging out there, or something less so, something that their blood is around.
To be honest, I'm kind of down having this be a gore fest, like an adult only situation. Like, just by virtue of it being the campaign that it is, and some of the characters being who they are in the party, it kind of makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that, but do not expect me to be good at describing very gory scenes when eating people.
Totally fine. Would you like me to describe you eating people?
If it's okay with everyone else, I'd be fine with it.
Hell yeah, by all means, do whatever's in your comfort zone. I don't know. I vote for this with the saying, the asterisk, that I don't expect everyone to be at that level. Like,
Yes.
we can fill in the gaps.
A lot of that gore, though, will come from Halish's character. Halish is an extreme proponent for eating the flesh of sapient creatures. Sometimes not when they're dead. So, that is a application to put here. No, I will not scream. I will not scream, like actually, unless there's a scene where it applies. But I will not actually scream in pain when Halish is eating a person. Unless it's for comedic effect.
Right now.
Huh?
What if I donate? I
Donate?
give 20 subs.
20 subs right now for me to scream?
In theory, just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
Okay,
give
let
me
me know
that
to
credit
mute
card.
first before you do it.
I'm kidding, I can't. I'm poor. No, I can't.
It's just saying, I'm gonna hear that from Discord side and from his room, so please,
Mhm.
God, spare me.
What about you,
Um,
Kaz?
Well, yes. Casimir is a butcher / chef. So he is one who is down and dirty in the gore. And he is a expert in cooking both sapien flesh and, non-sapien flesh. He's cooked up a few humans in his lifetime, So like, yeah, he's a pretty gory guy. I don't think he's intentionally like that. It's just like that's just how cooking is sometimes,
Just life and Geb.
Yeah.
Mm.
Unlife and Geb.
Mm-hmm.
It's Geb. That's it. There's no life, no unlife. Okay. What about you, Darby?
No issue.
No issue? Okay. And Rad, what about you with gore? And like,
Oh, it seems fine. If it's score for gore's sake, it's whatever.
yep, yep.
I'm not gonna, if that's what you want to do with your, session time.
Only whenever it would apply. I won't do it out of nowhere for no reason. For example, there is such thing as a plague zombie in the setting, which are well known for their pustules of cysts that deal damage whenever you slice them open. So, perhaps I will describe such things. Sickness and health, if you will. All right. Next up, I will say any crimes involving anything sexual will be nowhere near this campaign. There will also be nothing involving children being harmed. Now, asterisk on that one, because there are undertones of it at certain points of this campaign. And some people in the party know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's built into the party already. Okay? But I will not ever harm children or put them in a place to be harmful or harmed ever in this campaign.
I thought you said earlier there's going to be no children at all, so.
Okay.
No?
There is no child harm or children being harmed. They make it a point not to have children show up in normal states. The best thing I can describe is all of us played in a session with Muffin. Muffin, you had a game where there was I hope you guys don't mind spoiling it, there was a haunted child. A haunted child doll, a haunted child-coded creature. There is a peach-like Leshy, which looks like a child. There are creatures that are childlike in the campaign, because that is a horror icon, right? But there will be no living, innocent, normal children that will be harmed or harmful. Does that make more sense?
Now, by living, do you mean any being or specifically living?
Or is this an interview with the vampire kind of situation?
This is tough because I don't want to spoil anything, but if it's going to involve triggers and whatnot, there is, yes, a undead childlike character within the campaign.
Gotcha.
All right. Looking left, looking right. That one done? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Racism and prejudice. By fucking God is Geb prejudice. In all shapes and sizes. And yes, Raptor2 and Echo in the chat. Such neglect and abuse in such ways are always, if not, will permanently be in the background. If they are to be avoided at all, any time in any story, I will, to be clear. For prejudice, though, to move forward, by God, you guys would be prejudiced. Most of the party's living. One of you is not asterisk.
Why are you hanging out with those stinky living people? Ew.
Listen, man, it's complicated.
All of you, for the most part, will be treated as second-class citizens, to be looked down on and used and killed and eaten and food and reanimated. And each of your bodies are deigned to likely be reanimated for Geb in the service of Geb. Usually into a mindless drone, just animating like an arm, if it needs to be, or a talking skull to read off information for a class. Because that's what they do. Or be put into a wall. Because that's what they do. Do you guys have any questions about prejudice or racism in Geb?
No, but I think I should bring it up now because we had spoken about it. for my character specifically, I do not want to see them animated again. But I know it's a theme of the campaign, so.
A typical way that you can do that, whether your party wants it or not, or like that, you could immolate the body, right? There is ways of just making sure.
I just don't want any description of that of my character as an undead. That's not under my control anymore.
You got it. Works for me.
I'll keep that in mind also.
Yeah.
All right. Slavery. There is not just slavery within Geb. There are livestocks of sentient creatures. Literal livestocks of living people are on farms to be butchered and given to vampires in their castles, to zombie hordes to keep them satiated for war, souls to be sacrificed to soul cages of liches, and any of the such. The livestock is used and they are treated as livestock and abused. Now, it is a reality of the setting, but it is a fantasy of in itself. These are not real people. We do not condone slavery. It is the reality of living in an undead fantasy world, where such people are treated as such, if anything, just for the purpose of showing them as second-class citizens and as the food. There is methods in this campaign to help give such people a better life. If it is in the pursuit of your character's goals, you are welcome to do so. There is, in fact, an entire faction about giving the quick, aka the living, more rights and more power. And if you climb the ladder, you might be able to enforce such things. All right? Okay. Sweet. Thank you guys for going through those discomfortable topics, and thank you viewers for sticking through. We're going to continue now, and the only reason I went through those is to avoid all viewer and player discomfort. And we're here to have fun. This is a fun campaign. Fun, goofy, and fucking evil.
Okay.
Next up, really quick. Campaign length. 1 to 20. Determined in length, however, by you, but I imagine this campaign taking no less than 2 years. Maybe? Probably 2 years, depending on what you guys have said. You guys are in a very roleplay heavy group. You guys have said you are excited to roleplay. So I would imagine this campaign to take 2 years. Is that fair?
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds good. Next up is in-game politics and factions. This is the point of the campaign where or the sessions here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell you guys about these factions. Sounds good?
Oh boy.
All right, this is very important, so please listen, because there are many factions in Geb. So,
Wait, can we pull up our faction list tracker? We can follow along.
you can. Feel free to write down notes if you want to, too. This will be a good point to do so.
Darby's doing that.
Okay.
I'll do my
So-
best.
The day-to-day administration of Geb falls under the purview of the 60 Bloodlords, right? And each Bloodlord has ties to one of several formalized power groups that control specific aspects of life in Geb, from its military to trade and infrastructure. Above all are the 5 great factions of Geb. They hold more influence than the more numerous lower factions, though each faction's prestige and influence ebb and flow as the schemes of the Bloodlords and Geb play out. The only significant matter of Geb's factions that the factions don't control, or like the power that they don't control, is the nation's extensive network of spies. There is a very bad, well-kept bad secret that, yes, there is an extreme and powerful network of spies that reports directly to Geb himself and always has. That is the only faction that is known that is not one of influence in bloodlords and governments and high governors and the actual factions themselves. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, operating, and the ones that you know of at the beginning of the campaign, are the Builders League, the Celebrants, the Export Guild, the Reanimators, and the Tax Collectors Union. Who do we want to start with? Ren, you tell me.
Tax collectors.
Tax collectors. Damn. I guess they do say one thing. Two things are real in life. Death and taxes. And this whole campaign's about that, huh? Now,
Yum.
in most nations, some of the wealthiest individuals are among the oldest families. This is especially true in Geb, where many members of such families are more or less immortal, with no incentive to squander fortunes in their later years or divide the family's assets among squabbling offspring. Many of Geb's oldest families are so preposterously rich that mortals and even younger undead have difficulty even comprehending the scale of wealth of these families. And the Tax Collectors Union is known to like to keep it that way. So, several prominent aristocrats and bankers, they make up the upper echelons of the Tax Collectors Union, with most of the other faction members being part of these extended families, their employees or both. Nepotism is the norm in the Tax Collectors Union. Exorbitant bribes aren't only accepted, they are expected by them. And the status quo is sacred, and they will keep it that way and do everything in their power to do so. Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
You would know that the Tax Collectors Union works to prevent drastic shifts in Geb's power. And the recent rise of the Celebrants, which we'll get to, has alarmed the Union, and thus have become an obvious threat to the Tax Collectors Union. If you're curious on which one, because the Celebrants' ability to literally call upon any amount of governmental wealth for any reason involving Geb celebrations makes them a threat to the Tax Collectors' wealth. So, that is where we are. If you want to be involved with the characters and creatures that understand the wealth of Geb and have maintained it for time immemorial, Tax Collectors Unions is for you. Alright? I'll say this, if you want some more broad things. Ostentatious aristocrats and bankers they are. Their scope of influence is only within Geb. Their goal is to collect taxes and to gain influence through wealth. They have banks all across Geb, but their venerated vaults are within Mekatar, which is their headquarters. And their most accepting of is the Builders League, which it largely views as a fellow, even-handed traditionalist. In fact, usually it is known that they work together to create such venacious vaults. Who better to build them after all, right? You would know that they also are allied with loyal governmental officials and other traditionalists of Geb. Their enemies are the Celebrants, criminals, especially bank robbers and thieves, and other Gebites who accrue or flout wealth that they don't belong to an older family. In order to please them or join them, membership requirements involve exorbitant fees and sponsorship, and their anathema is to aid or abet thieves, avoid fees or taxes, disrespect authority or tradition, and generosity as politicians. How's that sound? I'm curious how each of your characters feel about this group. But that is how your characters as Gebites would understand the Tax Collectors Union. All right?
Tax collectors.
The term "eat the rich" comes to mind.
That's just to say, Fade is self-employed, so fuck those guys.
All right. Red, who would you like to hear about next out of the other four?
Oh, reanimators.
Reanimators, the most prominent because you guys are friends at the beginning of the campaign, or at least getting a job from a reanimator. To be clear, many bloodlords of other factions view the reanimators, who are responsible for raising the dead to work Geb's farms, as the least desirable of the great factions. They are the underdogs. But few even then question their importance to Geb and its necromantic global might, though they don't frequently wield it outside their established responsibilities, considering they're responsible for a mass of zombies that exist in Geb. Few people know the exact number, though, but all the Bloodlords, if not most of them, recognize that the Reanimators do control untold numbers of mindless undead spread across the countryside. The possibility that they might use this workforce for something beyond farming isn't often uttered, but it's always in the back of everyone's minds when talking about politics, when you think of a Reanimator. Now, most of the Reanimators, especially the Bloodlords who equally align themselves with the faction, are necromancers. If you meet somebody who is involved with the Reanimators, you can pretty damn well bet your coin and bones on it. But many serve the faction only in an administrative capacity, or as corpse tenders out on the farms. Few actually engage in the necromantic animation on the daily basis. The Reanimators are also known to retain a small number of officers, whose primary responsibility is to enforce the law requiring anyone who dies on Geb soil to be reanimated as an undead to serve the state. In their patrol across Geb, these officers, who your characters would know as the Dead Solicitors, also watch for any signs for the use and presence of positive, otherwise known as vitality energy, which they're authorized to stamp out using any means necessary. Many Dead Solicitors are rumored to be the members of Geb's secret police as well. Hee hee hee. Now, the Reanimators themselves resent the tax collectors union, who levy heavy taxes on the crop shipments and tend to show disdain for the Reanimators, quote unquote, in tax collector union words, dirty work of raising zombies and growing food. And they work closely with the Export Guild, however, because they ensure uninterrupted streams of crop shipments and thus wealth that passes through Geb's harbors. What do you guys think?
I like them.
Yeah, they seem okay.
Okay. Any more questions about them?
They're not the tax collectors.
I will say their biggest enemies are worshippers of Pharasma and others opposed to undeath. So, they are the Reanimators after all, right? But they are necromancers who manage food production and labor. Okay. You would know to earn their hatred, you must destroy mindless undead without prior authorization, disrupt any production and distribution of food, or use vitality energy. And all you gotta do is hard-working country folk to please them. It's a simple life, but it's fulfilling, being a reanimator. At my farm full of zombies and pigs. Pig zombies. Who's next?
Can I ask
Alright, I'm
one?
gonna kill
Yeah.
so many mindless zombies.
What was that, Kaz?
As a member and friend of the Export Guild, I would like to learn more about them.
Yeah.
Mention them as well.
Absolutely, I'll jump on over. In fact, I'll give you some art of the Export Guild people.
Oh,
Ta-da!
look at them.
That is a morgue of them.
What are they exporting?
I'll get to that.
Dance.
So, where all the other factions are powerful, mostly in name, inside, the Export Guild governs Geb's foreign trade, and, despite all its name, all of the imports as well. Let me get that out of the way. They involve all things coming out and then into Geb, as well as things going from in Geb to out of Geb. So they handle export and import despite the name. Many of the members of the Export Guild are younger or very much less traditional than the other factions, such as the Builders League or the Tax Collectors Union. Yet the Export Guild is filled with staunch loyalists and nationalists, not traditionalists. In their mind, going against Geb's tradition is a good thing if doing so helps Geb extend its international reach and solidify its economic or political power. While they inevitably prioritize their own selfish interests in many dealings, Export Guild members frequently consider the costs and benefits to Geb as a whole when they make their decisions. You would know that the big place that the Export Guild is known to have the biggest presence of is in Osum Harbor, the only harbor in and out of Geb. Harbor is relatively small but vital to the foreign relations. It is the primary outlet for the food export that they're renowned across Galarion for. And many foreigners, if not most foreigners, enter Geb via this harbor. So the Export Guild is close with the Celebrants to ensure that these important visitors receive appropriate honors and accolades in their arrival. As the harbor staff is made mostly entirely of the city's massive underclass, these events often require the entire harbor to be shut down and all of its operations to cease for a few hours when the especially important visitors arrive, lest the slovenly workers discuss the new arrivals. The Export Guild presents these lost hours as time off, but doesn't pay them, and generally doesn't decrease their quotas accordingly. How kind, huh, everybody?
Oh yeah, so nice.
Workers who fall behind or dare to show up during hours where they're supposed to remain unseen are generally carted off to Geb's interior to work on the farms and are never seen from again. But their relationship with the reanimators is quite complicated. Their ostentatious necromancy hurts Geb's image among other nations, which is important to the Export Guild, but it is nonetheless necessary for the creation of most of Geb's workforce, including the zombies, the laborers responsible for the food that they distribute, which remains Geb's most profitable export. So, the Export Guild recently began encouraging the reanimators to find ways to move food production out of the sight of Geb's busiest cities, perhaps even underground. But the issue of funding such a massive infrastructure project also involves the Builders League, who would need to approve and manage the project, the Celebrants, who would need to manage the public perception of the project, and a Tax Collectors Union, who would need to fund the project. So, you see that the involvement of all 5 of Geb's great nations into a large-scale issue often indicates that the planning alone is bound to take decades, if not centuries. So, they don't really have too many enemies, nor their allies. But to call them the most, it is probably the allies would be the Celebrants, and the enemies would be the reanimators, because of hurting public perception. They also don't like pirates, or anybody that tarnishes Geb's image outside of Geb.
I like them. I picked their background. They're my friends.
Yay! Yeah. To lose favor with them is to damage Geb's image or reputation, impede the exchange of goods and ideas, to jeopardize foreign relations, or to mistreat important visitors to Geb, because they are few, but important. All right. Darby, who do you want to hear about out of the last 2?
Builders League.
Sounds good. Wow, we're saving the Celebrants for last. You guys are going to get a kick out of them. All right. Now, if you thought the Tax Collectors Union was traditionalist and old money, the Builders League is responsible for its architecture, civic improvements, and public works. Any project involving such things anywhere in Geb, whether new construction or the expansion or demolition of an older building, it has to be approved by the Builders League and thoroughly inspected afterward. The Builders League wields its approval or rejection of construction projects like a weapon, sometimes like a slender knife, subtly or modifying or redacting plans to further the League's agenda, and sometimes like a sledgehammer, where they blatantly ban construction projects in an entire settlement for no other reason, just to show disapproval of an upstart local authority that just arrived. The Builders League specializes in buildings of occult significance and harbors countless ancient secrets in its holdings across Geb. To protect the knowledge it has accumulated over the centuries, the League constantly upgrades various edifices with secret passages, false walls, hidden rooms, deadly traps, and underground vaults. And this requires so many workers, and thus they rely on the reanimators for cheap, heavy labor. The League's obsession with the occult doesn't extend to respect for outsiders who possess occult knowledge, or significant secrets, rather. The Guild and the League sees them entirely as targets to be slaughtered. Suspicion and paranoia also lead to strained relations between the Builders League and the Export Guild for this reason. The League cannot stand the idea of foreign agents prying around Geb, and knows that many spies operate under the guise of merchants and traders. And furthermore, money is merely a means to an end for the members of the Builders League, who believe that true wealth lies in possessing exclusive knowledge. Many of the Geb factions include Quick among their numbers. The Builders League, however, is almost exclusively undead. They take their time, they build things that last, and most of its members long to see their grand designs come to fruition. So a typical mortal life isn't long enough to collect and curate a vast library of occult knowledge, rebuild and enhance an entire nation's system of roads or bridges that last centuries, or to carve their immense labyrinthian fortresses that they want for a Geb. So, that is the Builders League. In order to join them, I will say you have to complete a lengthy apprenticeship or significant contribution to the Builders League in the form of architectural accomplishments, knowledge, or services that further the League's goals. If you want to piss them off, damaging buildings, destroying knowledge, eschewing tradition, sharing the League's secrets, or withholding secrets from the Guild themselves will get you quickly on their bad side. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That brings us, without further ado, to the Celebrants. The most recent kids on the block. And the most fun, in my opinion. Literally, they have to be. They're the Celebrants. Celebrants are the most recent faction to rise in power from the lower faction. A transition due entirely to Geb's recent reintroduction into the public view. The Celebrants are here to honor their ruler and his victories. They organize massive processions, extravagant ceremonies, gruesome feasts, tournaments, and public holidays. And most Celebrants are priests of Urgathoa, the goddess of decay and death, and their devotion to the goddess of gluttony is evident in their macabre and frenzied festivities. These public events have become so commonplace in the last 4 years that it is impossible to visit a sizable settlement in Geb on any day without seeing some form of parade, feast, ceremony, speech, or other celebration of Geb's greatness. And the Celebrants have a mandate granting them complete autonomy to draw on the coffers of the Tax Collectors Union to fund such events, an arrangement they never hesitate to use with prejudice. While the Celebrants' extravagance and carefree spending annoys the tax collectors, rival bloodlords and faction members understand that the true threat from the Celebrants comes not from their public activities, but from their secret and well-known propaganda in the Cathedral of Epiphenomena, the grand temple to Urgathoa and Geb's capital. It is said that within these chambers, the Celebrants operate their free-spending, malevolent, and ruthlessly efficient propaganda machines. Obsessive priests, brainwashed assistants that work tirelessly, and enemies added to this great machine are often, literally, without resting. Many of them are undead. And they are all there to put a positive public spin on any and all events remotely affecting Geb. Through an arrangement to the Export Guild, however, the Celebrants occasionally receive correspondence from across the sea in the form of well-traveled captives. The priests invite these living guests to dine with them forcing them to feast with ravenous zombies and ghouls to intimidate them into sharing everything they know about life beyond Geb's borders. And when they inevitably talk, but they tend to stay for dinner regardless, the celebrants then twist whatever knowledge they learn of the outside to ensure that the public perceives people outside Geb's as uncultured, weak, and unworthy. Unless they have profitable arrangements with Geb, which are naturally presented as clever negotiations on the part of bloodlords. So yeah. And from even time to time, they're known to tarnish the reputation of specific bloodlords, or even the other great factions if necessary. And because of this, they have grown an extreme particular hatred from the Builders League, which often angers the celebrants, who distrust anyone who withholds information from Geb's public relations division. So yeah, practically unlimited funding, agents spread all the way across Geb to spread propaganda at any opportunity, to also listen for dissent and discontent, to listen for anyone who speaks out against Geb, or the nation, or the ruler. Especially in public, you'll risk being reported to the authorities, arrested as a traitor, and the interrogation often leads to another arrest, and then, of course, to manipulate your entire existence to be one of a heathen or a blasphemer, tortured, then executed, in the full view of the public, of course, and preferably during a feast in which you will be involved in. Not feasting, the feastee. That's the celebrants. How do you guys feel? That's the 5 great nations. I mean, factions.
Man, how are we all gonna keep these guys from killing each other? How are we gonna be friends with anyone? Won't be friends with anyone else.
I definitely recommend as your GM to pick and choose the best that you can. A reminder is that your influence points do not stop at 0. They will go into the negatives, and eventually you can be hunted.
To the point of we can't complete the campaign anymore?
To the point that you'll have difficulty completing certain objectives.
Oh, okay.
If not, you will, be targeted for assassinations if you piss off a certain group enough.
Every time I go into town.
Will you let
Stop
us know
right there, criminal scum.
at points when making a decision would give us favors with one, but make us negative with another, or is that
I'll
something
make
for us to figure out?
I'll make the first few known to help you out.
Okay.
But once we get to a certain point, I think it becomes obvious.
Cool.
How are you guys feeling?
Good. I'm ready to play. Let's start.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's start.
Oh, I
Do
will
it.
say, the celebrants also, their anathema is abstinence, moderation, and spreading damaging information about Geb. If you decide to abstain from their celebrations, that is a way to get their hatred. If you are asked, you must participate. All right. Now that we've done that, I want to make it clear that this is probably the good time for you guys to choose your backgrounds. Now, who here, raise a hand and say aye, if you're taking a background that is not aligning you with a great faction off the start.
Hello. Me. I.
Okay.
I
Bob?
think. I don't know.
I feel like
I-
I'll probably have to talk with you.
On the hows, what's, and whys?
well, yeah, which one would be a good fit for my guy?
Would you be wanting to start with a faction behind your belt? At least with some amount of rapport?
I don't know if it makes sense. If it doesn't, then no.
Okay.
But obviously, it would be preferred. I understand that.
Would any of those, should I say, who in the party has a background with them right now?
I.
I
Okay. I would like
Oops.
for you, Darby, tell me which one you are aligned with. Darby?
Hold on,
It's a mystery.
I'm double confirming.
Double confirming, okay.
Yeah, because I had in mind one thing, but it might say something totally different on the background. I'm double checking the background. I have 1 point. Well, reanimators.
Okay. So the entire party will start with 1 point with the reanimators off the bat. All right. Kaz, who do you got?
I'm a
Guild?
food trader, and I work for the Export Guild.
Okay. A
We
reminder
have
that
a union.
you do. And a reminder is that you guys did work for them. You're independent
Oh, we
agents
don't
now.
work them now. I sell them. I
Got
sell
fired.
them food.
How do
And
we access the reputations again? I'm so sorry.
so go to your press P. You'll see the party sheet open, right?
Yum. Subsystems. I see.
And that's going to be the last one, I believe, is Halish. And Halish, you are with
The Builders League.
the Builders League.
Yeah, I
Alright.
kind of press ganged into him, so we're okay.
Does anyone want to change who they're working with?
Not yet.
I might, but I am not sure yet. I gotta talk it out.
Yeah, I don't want to change, and then we meet an NPC, and they're so damn cool that I changed my whole mind.
Well, just because you worked with them
Yeah.
before doesn't mean you have to continue being aligned with them. All right. Sounds good. I have adjusted your reputation points that are alongside them right now. Lastly, really quick, I do want to say, Red, I think that the celebrants would apply with you very well.
Okay.
My initial thing is they do host tournaments. So-
Okay.
So I think,
But whether or not my character is a willing participant in such things is
yeah, you're just known amongst them, like, ho, like, hell yeah. You don't have to be working with them right now,
okay.
if that makes sense.
Sure.
But we can talk about that in a bit if you like. Okay. Well, with that
Let's see.
done, you guys now know the 5 great factions, which is something I wanted to get out during the session 0, because it is, to be clear, a bit of a draw to get through, and not something I would have wanted to do in the middle of the campaign, as you can imagine. All right, let's move over to, let's see. Because you guys are going to eventually become governmental figures in some way, shape, or form. That's your character's plan, and it should be your plan. That should be good. That's good. Character context is good. Backgrounds are good. Feats are good. Who has mounts? Does anyone have mounts?
Hi. Hello, I do.
Sweet. All right, let me show you how they work.
Okay.
All right. I would like you to quickly...
No.
Oh, okay.
I will do it slowly though.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Where did I put them? I apologize.
You lost my mount?
No, I didn't. There we are, writable. Okay, so in the compendium packs, you should see it's a book, right? In the top right, by settings, in music. It's like a book.
Oh, yeah.
Scroll down in that until you eventually find something called writable. It'll be with a blue background. You see it?
No. What are you talking about? Where? There's a lot of stuff.
Scroll down. It's not in any of the folders.
Okay.
You'll find a section that is like all blue with a gear on the right. One of them will be called writable.
Negative.
Okay. I will pull this
I have
here.
playlist and then rollable table.
Okay.
Ah, never mind. Found it. It was in the middle.
Okay.
It's locked.
All right. You should be able to click it and it should pop up something. In there, you should see under writing a start writing or a mount button, toggle mount button. If you
Oh.
drag that into your hotbar,
I see.
and you want to do an unmount button,
Mount. Okay.
probably toggle pilot you want in there because you want to pilot it.
Familiar writing.
Yes, you can ride a familiar.
No shot. I would have just been a witch. Oh man. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. All fine.
Within Writable, by the way, if everyone else finds it, you'll see a section in there about following, and you can actually make it so that you follow someone at a specific distance in there. It's pretty cool. All right. So now that you've got that, let's just try to... How about you mount Kaz really quick? What's up?
I accept it. I
Something
consent.
funny? Something funny? What's wrong?
Yes.
And there you go.
This is what he's always dreamed of.
The uppies, except wait, but you're.
So since you're 4.5 feet, it's saying that you're up 4.5 feet. You see it?
Oh, yep, I
So-
sure did.
Kaz, go move around. You should carry.
Sure.
You should be carrying. Yeah.
Ah!
There you go.
Oh
The
my
opposite
goodness.
uppies. I have enough strength to carry you. That's okay.
Yeah.
And now
Together we make one whole person.
Now you want to toggle the mount or the dismount. There you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
All right. I wanted to add that to the foundry. Have fun.
That's so funny. Thank you for that.
No worries. I've showed you guys how to access your bestiary tracker. So as you guys find out information about certain monsters and undead, it will start adding them too. It will also add NPCs for you guys to look at, which will be pretty fun. Is there anything else I should show you about? Darby, Muffin, do you think there's anything about the foundry I should show about? That's for like Pathfinder related stuff.
Not for
Basic
foundry.
action macro.
Oh yeah.
You guys all should have basic action macro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Try to use them on yourself, make sure it's still working.
I
can't 'cause I don't have an actor.
Oh,
Oh, I don't have esoteric lore skill.
there you go.
What I wanted.
Looks like it's working just fine. Would you like me to add another? Because you want to, we want a second ammo companion, right? Which is your characters.
Yes, I won't have it until I get to level 2, in which case I can take the additional what they call-
Archetype.
Yeah, archetype.
Sounds good.
Oh,
I'm
speaking of
honestly
archetype-
surprised you're going for it, considering Mustang.
Yeah, it wasn't bad in Rustage. It was just interesting. I think it'd be kind of fun to go all the way with it.
Okay, sounds good.
One question I do have though
Mm-hmm.
is I forgot what my question was. Oh, archetypes. Are we doing free archetype this run around?
You sure are.
Okay.
Oh,
And are we
I have
doing
another question then. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry. We're about to ask the same question. I'm sorry. Go for it, Buckets.
progressive attribute modifiers?
Yep. Progressive gradual ability boost is on.
Ooh.
My next question is,
No.
if you would step in my office, we have mints.
You're asking
Are
for
we
the
doing
rune.
automatic rune progression?
No, because this is a place that you can easily get the rune.
Cry. It's okay.
And then, if I am correct, is Phaedrath a crafty person?
I will be.
Okay. That will be interesting to, like, as an outside person for the crafting system, interested in knowing more about it just because I haven't played with it before and it looks very convoluted and not very useful in most cases. But I'm curious to see how well
I'm
it
doing
works.
crafting.
Oh,
be
we're both
doing-
doing crafting.
I'm
Poggers.
doing specifically food
Food.
crafting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
Gotcha.
a
Gotcha.
whole archetype for it that I'll be taking called Wandering Chef.
Yeah, I saw that. That's in
That's
the.
what
It's in the news.
Yeah.
Zuntia.
That was really cool looking.
All right. Any other questions about Pathfinder itself and anything like that? Builds?
I guess when it comes to like homebrew rules, are we gonna be like keeping things what they were in Rusthenge? Like DC 15 for aid, the reposition, things like that.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Until otherwise specified.
Okay.
Could I get the rundown on how to get to the bestiary again? I think I was kind of mentally AFK for that.
So go to the Actors tab, where you can go to Phaedrath's character sheet, right?
Yum.
You should see at the very bottom of that, on the bottom of your screen, should say Bestiary Tracker. You see it, like a
Uh-huh.
little crab?
Oh, I
click
see. I
that.
see. Okay. Enjoy it while you can. Nice. Okay. Okay.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
That's
it's
funny.
like no whatever creature encountered yet. Enjoy it while you can.
Okay, sounds good. You can actually change the theme of that in your settings. Let's also do something fun. You guys want to go to the top right, go to your settings, and let's make some dice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Head over to
Just
Dice So
left doing
Nice. Now, some of the
Nice.
Dice So Nice effects actually broke down in V12, so I've adjusted it to only be the ones that are available.
I cry.
Oh my god, do I cry?
I like making dice.
I'm just gonna, yeah. Sorry if we go quiet, everybody. We're making dice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any notes, any thoughts now that we've kind of talked a bit about the campaign / the setting? Kind of curious. Hate any of them fuckers yet?
Just the tax collectors, I think.
You don't like the tax collectors?
Yeah, they seem like, pompous assholes who want to keep everything for themselves. Kind of good territory to kind of go into, I think.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to be friends with the pompous assholes who want to keep everything to themselves?
You mean eat them from the inside out?
And I can cut them up into nice little pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. They
Got
already
it?
have a theme specifically for me.
Oh yeah, what's it
Is it-
called?
Barbed wire?
Since there's
No.
travel in this, but it's just like background travel.
Yeah.
It's not like hex anything.
No, basically you'll get to an area and then we'll go into exploration mode there. I won't usually go into the detail of getting to and fro general cities and locations.
Full on bloody dice.
Oh,
Is that what you meant?
we doing anything with hero points?
I was just gonna keep them normal hero points for this campaign.
No hero cards or anything.
No.
Okay.
I'd prefer not to. If you guys really, really, really like them, then I'm beholden
I really,
to your
really
wishes.
like them. But, if they're a pain in the ass, then they're a pain in the ass,
They can be a pain in the ass. They're not usually a pain. I'm just saying, they can be a pain in the ass a little bit. I don't know.
Or
I maybe die on the inside sometimes whenever suddenly, but I really like it whenever it does cool things,
they're useless half the time, so it's like, yeah.
I don't like that a lot of people randomly won't be able to use them, and other people will be able to do batshit crazy things, or you draw two of the same one. But I can be swayed. I can absolutely be swayed right now.
Okay. How do I sway you?
Take me into your office.
Now consider.
Considering
Imagine you were a mage.
I'm not good at imagining things.
Okay, so you're a wizard, and
Okay.
you have all these spells that are saving throw based.
Sure.
How often are you going to be using those hero points? Not a lot.
Usually, whenever
So-
I'm hit with saving throws in return,
Yeah,
Or
but if you're
ability
standing
checks.
30 or 60 feet away.
because I'll recall knowledge to make sure I can get the right saving throws on them.
What I'm saying is, I feel like if you're a mage, you're forcing other people to roll a lot of dice, right? And I feel like it's really weak on the mages.
We're scaling back into Caleb really quick. I like this.
I killed this
Trying to-
character. Why
I'm
do you think
trying
this
to
would give me
remind
any
him.
nostalgia?
Damn it.
I murdered this character.
As someone, I'm putting it out there as someone who played a mage for a while. There was sessions I just didn't use any hero points at all because all I did was cast electric arc. And they're cool. That's my other argument. But
I
if
kind
they're
of wish
pain in
you
the
could give
ass,
people your hero point.
There's give them the point itself.
Yeah. I just say that because I just hate using hero points.
Darby's like, I want to go all in. No hero points.
Well,
That's it. That's all my arguments.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's your
Can I
argument.
make persuasion check?
Maybe a diplomacy check.
Okay, well, I'm good at that. I'm a charisma guy. So if I get in that 20 now, this will change the course of the campaign, right?
It will.
Okay. Okay, 16 is average.
Is there anyone else that wishes to have hero cards?
I don't know what those do, so I can't say.
Doesn't matter to me either way.
Basically, instead of having hero points only be able to reroll dice when you need them to, or save you from dying, the hero points that you draw at the start of session have card effects that do strange but pushing things. For example, instead of going down, you get reduced to 1 hit point, but you get wounded 2 for it, like 2 steps down. Or you
And-
jump in the way of a friend and take a lot more damage, you get reduced to 0 hit points automatically. Things like that. Does that make sense?
It does, but why do we want that over hero points?
It's an option. It's not a.
It's an option.
Yeah, it's an
Oh.
option. It's not like
Oh, I
you
see.
have to use that card instead.
It's just
And-
more options.
Mhm.
More options are always good. I'm with it.
Okay.
There's my diplomacy check. Read it and weep.
22. Not bad, not bad. Anyone else? I'm worried about it being overwhelming for newer players to Pathfinder. Is my
We got 2 years to learn.
My experience
Yeah.
with it is that there are no cards for spellcasters. So
There's some.
not a
Pretty rare,
single.
though.
I haven't used a single one in 25 sessions.
I mean, it's more like, you fall to the
But
ground and take minimal damage.
I do think they're cool to have options, though. I mean, I don't mind them. I'm just, from my experience, first time playing Pathfinder as a sorcerer, in another game. Yeah.
They're very flip-floppy.
Hmm.
And they apply to certain characters more than others, huh?
Mm.
Hmm.
I just like the option.
But I do like, like there have been a couple. I'm just saying, like, I haven't feel like I've had a real opportunity to use them. But maybe I'm being too harsh on them. I do like when, because they happen at the beginning of the session, I like having them and be like, oh, okay, maybe I could use this, or it never comes up. But I feel like universally, I'm just using them for rerolls, like the system intends you to do.
How do you feel, Boggins?
I think they're useful as an option, and maybe as we play on, we can wet our feet a bit and then start using them. But at the moment, I do not plan on using them.
I just want to pull Die Hard.
If all you're doing this for is for Die Hard, then I'm not going to turn them on.
What's that called? Die Hard. What's it called?
Last Stand?
Oh, Last Stand.
Yeah.
Last Stand.
Last Stand with Doom.
Yep. I like it. It's a good card.
I don't want to muddy the waters for options. Or have others rely on very wishy-washy luck-based systems. But if everyone is okay and wants them in, or if nobody is directly opposed to having them in, then I will add them on to see how they go, and will remove them if they become a problem.
Sure. Okay, why not? Rather have more options than less.
You say that now.
I mean,
Remember-
if it's not
Wait,
gonna get rid of hero points,
until you
and
hit
it's not
level
gonna,
8
like-
and have a Pathfinder character.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that because guess what? If anything happens to me at level 8, I'm coming back as a Hell Knight. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Adamara, is there a makeshift staff in the compendium?
Makeshift staff. There's
trying
makeshift
to-
strike.
No.
You just want to
I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out exactly how I code Staff Nexus and Foundry.
You have a staff nexus, I see it.
Yeah, maybe. It's just text at the moment.
How about I have staff nexus like the actual compendium item if you want it.
I'm assuming that's just.
That is
The
what you
ability.
have.
I'm assuming that's just the ability for the character.
It's an item, but it's a
Oh.
feat.
It's probably what I need then. I need something I can daily prep, which is usually a staff. So
Do you have to
Maybe it's
wait until
called-
you get a staff?
I start with one,
What staff do you start with?
my makeshift one.
All right, all right, all right, you, all right, you sick fuck.
I make,
All right,
I
you
make a staff.
motherfucker.
Yeah. You begin play with a makeshift staff of your own invention. It has a magical trait. It contains
Someone
one
get this
cantrip.
guy a shitty stick.
Yes.
Pretend magic comes out of it.
So whenever
Mhm,
you guys are
board.
done with that, I have a dumb question just for me, like looking around in my sheet. I've
Yeah.
discovered.
So if you can just throw it on my sheet and we'll see if it works, and I'll invest and see if Davy prep works when I hit the rest button.
Looks like it was the same thing.
Okay.
What's up, Ren? What
What's up,
can I
Ren?
do to help? Would you like some mints?
I would love some mints.
Mm.
But I was gonna ask if since I am going sorcerer dedication at level 2,
Mhm.
would I need to have the bloodline under divine intercessions ahead of time, or would this just not be a thing until said sorcerer dedication?
Divine intercessions?
Yeah, for some reason I just looked in there to see what's in there, and then I saw like all the sorcerer bloodlines are in there. So I'm like, is this something that I need to like have on?
Oh,
or...
divine intercessions is an extremely powerful ability that is for later on clerics and whatnot. If you do not get access to it yet, you do not need to worry about it. I don't believe. Or where do
Okay,
you get
I
it
just-
from?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that we talked about it. I don't know how much I should say
Oh, give
as
me one
it
moment.
being a part of the character, but like it's not going to actually be a thing that I can use stuff with until sorcerer dedication? Question mark.
One moment.
So I'm asking basically if the bloodline matters now or just wait until level 2. I guess is the root of the question.
I've given you a staff.
I don't want it.
Not you.
Okay, one more.
Okay. Can you send me divine intercessions?
Ooh, how do you mean send it?
I was just gonna say in DMs, but I can do it.
No, I mean I will, but like how am how do I?
I hath found it.
That's fine.
You do not need that, no. Such things have already been applied outside of the game.
Understood.
Can I
Now,
ask another question?
What's up?
Did you say okay to that scorpion whip 3 years ago?
Oh my fucking god.
I don't know. I think I have you on
Yes,
record
say
saying yes. I just didn't want to go back in DMs and find it and screenshot it and show you. He's thinking. I just don't have access to it, so I can't even find it on Foundry. So,
Whoa. I do not have access to it. Huh.
You are looking for a scorpion whip?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
it's whips are non-lethal, so like every time I try to do a lethal attack, I would take a -2 penalty.
Mm.
So like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So
But you still want a whip.
I still want the whip because I
Yeah.
like how it is. Like I'd even like just ask Adam Maranice to take the non-lethal trait off my whip if
Sure.
that's like. Is that cool?
Sure.
I don't even know the difference, so I'm deleting it. There it goes. It's gone. Woohoo.
I'm totally fine with you making your whip horrifically lethal.
You're good. Excellent.
Okay,
As Geb intended.
Character.
Turns out they don't have non-lethal whips in Geb.
Damn.
All out, sorry.
Safety's removed.
Mm-hmm.
From a character building standpoint,
Just change the world with your mind.
Bakawa lizard folk, they are given like bony plate armor automatically, right?
Yep.
But the feature wasn't added automatically, so I had to go ahead and make myself some armor.
Odd.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it. It might be because that player's guide isn't out yet.
They don't have it in Foundry yet.
More than likely, yeah.
Okay. So when it comes around, then I'll just have to re-import it or something.
Yeah, I know it would make it work fully.
Yeah. And then I also made a separate weapon to deal with the dice increases of my deity.
Oh, sweet. And you got it all built out?
Yeah, I think so. Let
The mo-
me
Hell yeah, thank you.
test this out.
Saves me some time.
Yeah, why is there a d6?
I don't think that
That's
was
not
yours.
Okay.
That was not yours.
It's mine. I'm beating up the old man.
Haha. If I roll the damage. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it works great.
Fantastic.
All right.
If I put a rock at the end of my whip, could it do bludgeoning damage?
And I think the
No.
other thing is languages. Like the default one is like Tirsani or something like that, but you say that we have a different one for being Gebites.
Yeah, for being from Geb, you get Necro for free. If you're from here,
Necro
yeah.
for free. Okay. Yeah, the player's guide said Osiriani, or maybe Necro.
Oh, and Necro, yeah. But as a player, you
Cool.
get Necro for free.
Okay, I will add that as well.
Sounds good. And remember, your common language, like if you look, there's like common in your sheets, is not Taldane.
Yeah,
It is
I had to
Osiriani.
edit my race in order to remove that and replace it with Osirani.
Mm-hmm. You do not even have the
That
language
too.
of the Taldanes. You guys are on the different place with a different language. All right. What's next? What's next? Anything else from you guys?
Anyone have any suggestions of what to do with 10 gold?
Buy a healer's kit.
True.
I do not have any healing abilities.
Smile?
It's illegal to heal.
No. Treat wounds.
I know.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I make
Actually, that's a good point. Does anyone have the medicine skill?
I do.
Oh,
I am,
great,
I am the
Darby.
doctor.
Damn, Darby. Every game.
Again,
Yeah, but that's what I like doing. So
I was actually looking into it. It actually looks pretty fun. One of my other abilities was like a rat folk medicine person.
Mm-hmm. We have
You could heal our boo-boos.
yeah.
we have a
So
rat
I will
folk.
have. I don't have enough like skill slots, so there will be no risky surgery and a few other things.
You will have to do.
Yeah, so like that.
I do have scroll thaumaturgy, so if we ever pick up any like healing scrolls of the non-illegal variety. Also, gang, let's have a sit down chat real quick as future bloodlords.
Mm.
We're definitely gonna use healing magic if we have to. We're just not gonna tell anyone, right? Like
Totally.
if the government doesn't know, I mean the government doesn't know, you know.
In a secret house, all
In a
the
secret
windows blocked
house.
out.
Yeah.
Which one of the factions hates that specifically? And
I-
are any of us part of that faction?
Reanimators.
Okay.
I'd have to check my anathemas.
Just don't look. We'll do it while you're sleeping.
Yeah, just don't look.
Okay.
A reminder that temp HP healing is completely legal.
Are things like soothe fine? I'm assuming because that doesn't hurt undead; it heals undead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just pick a bunch of soothe scrolls as well.
Soothe and false life.
Mm-hmm. I can be the scroll monkey because I'll have a. I can cast lots of magic through them.
It's not,
Oh, wait. So that means that the best healers are occult spellcasters. Because those that's what Soothe is in.
it is
Damn.
not anathema for me to have any healing or
Yes.
to do healing. Just
Yeah,
I don't
we're
do it.
So
okay.
We're
I
just the legal ones.
gotcha. I was supposed to say like I did intend to get into crafting potions at some point, but also like I can heal as a champion, or I will be able to heal as a champion. It just won't feel very good.
Do you get lay on hands? I thought it was only a paladin got that.
So I can choose to take lay on hands instead of touch of the void.
Oh, I see. I
But-
mean, that's still positive healing.
Actually,
Again,
wait.
illegal.
I
We don't tell anyone. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
I was
legal.
supposed to say okay. So in order to do that though, I think to take lay on hands, I would have to choose to not be unholy because Zonkathun does not force me to be unholy.
That's crazy, really.
But I chose to be, yeah.
Oh wow.
I would highly recommend being unholy so you can get Touch of the Void so you can keep yourself up.
That's kind of where I was at. I thought more of us were undead. I didn't know it was just me.
It is just you, yeah.
Look to the
Yippee!
future. Eventually we'll become undead.
Yay!
Well, except for one of us.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe we'll see. I'll grab a lot of Tooth Scrolls. I think it's gonna be my game plan.
Okay.
Man,
But
bards
yeah, I
would
still
go
got-
hard, huh?
I still got 10 gold. I'm gonna go ahead and put that inside the party stash.
Sure.
Yeah. I still have no idea what I'm gonna do with my archetype.
Also, Idamera, would it be worth, even though I think we talked about the spike chain, I can't have a shield, would it still be worth to buy one?
Just in case if you want to. If you need to go into a defensive, you can buy like a second weapon that's one-handed. Also, a note, I don't believe elixirs of life are vitality healing.
However,
They are not.
they do stipulate they do not heal undead. That has to be living creatures. But you're right. I don't think
That's-
they're vitality.
I meant for you guys. Like,
Oh, for us,
Mhm.
yeah.
it will help everyone but Phaedra.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, I have Touch of the Void for myself, and then for you guys,
You have
I
you have
would to
Halish
do-
with you. Halish can harm you.
Alicia's
True.
hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I am your pocket healer, I guess.
Let's go! Ha! Pocket.
Yeah.
And I can heal you outside of combat.
Yes. You guys do have methods of healing, and you have made your way around it. Now, for me to talk about as the GM, what happens if you get caught using Vitality? Well, you'll probably be arrested. And that arrest will lead to another arrest. And that arrest will lead you to being in the forefront of a celebrant ceremony, where you'll get eaten alive,
Nice.
Nice. My dream.
tortured, executed, and worse.
My dream is to become food.
Otherwise, if you want to get around such laws, you might need to make some friends in high places. You would
Understood.
want to rely on your friends to help you with that.
I won't snitch on any of you if you cast vitality healing.
Okay. Anything else relating to the foundry, builds, anything like that?
Is it too late to last minute change the bard?
Nope.
Cool.
It
I think
Being a
is.
bard.
No.
I think for
I will
Staff
see.
Nexus, so I don't have
I'll think about it.
to make you input and output spells every day into a staff. I would just make another spellcasting entry and label it.
From your staff. You got it.
Mhm.
That works.
And label it that way.
Yeah, that'll probably work better.
That's what they suggest for like divine prepared spells
Mm-hmm.
or like a
Heal.
healer stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then we got our checklist over here. Repeated party roles. So in Pathfinder, they talk about a lot about like, what if you fail climbing up a wall? Just make another roll. My thing is, you can roll again as long as you bring something new to the equation. What's that? You can't climb a wall? I reach into my pocket and I grab a stick and I use the stick to jab it in. Congrats, you can roll again. Just bring something new to the equation and you'll be able to roll again just fine. Sounds good?
Mhm.
Sounds good.
All right. Downtime in crafting. I wouldn't say there's an immense amount of downtime in this adventure. Once things get going, you're going to be going. And while there will be times where you do take some time of downtime, there's a pretty clear goal relatively early on. And it becomes imperative to continue that. So, don't think that it's going to be a whole year of downtime over the course of the campaign and all that. This is a relatively quick adventure.
Uh-huh.
Do you get it? Because the quick is fine. All right.
Hey, Admiro.
Yeah.
I deleted the Earthbreaker by accident off my sheet.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I
Put
can't
it-
get it.
put
I
it
can't
back.
get I can't get it back.
How can you not?
There's
It's
no
not
quick
there.
insert, and it's not in the weapons category. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, why isn't it?
I don't know. I'm just sad and confused.
You have a new
Thank
Earthbreaker.
you. Thank you.
Where do they keep it?
I think Idamir has blocked some of the content from us.
I have.
Oh,
So Earthbreaker might be from like a book or something.
PG-13. Oh, that type of
Mm,
blocking.
Yeah. Oh.
It's from Pathfinder Treasure Vault, which I don't know what that is.
It's a source book.
Yeah, it's a player source book.
Player source book? Cool. I'll activate it again.
My Scorpion.
Yeah, kind of like Cobalt Press's Treasure Vault, or
I don't know what that is.
play 5e.
Arms and equipment guidebook, I'm guessing.
Not for long before memory loss. If I'm honest. I don't remember much of it.
What's a 5e?
Blasphemous words.
I'm still stuck there. Okay.
I'm gonna be free soon.
Treasure Vault has been added to your sources.
Hooray!
Can't
Oh,
believe
hang
you're
on.
gonna be
Yippee!
free before me.
Okay.
I'm free. I'm free.
All right. Gaining hero points. You get 2 at the start of session, as usual. Do you guys want any methods that you guys can give hero points to each other over the course of the campaign?
It's a slippery slope.
Or would you like
What
me to be able to give it there?
What if it takes a reaction?
Then you
Oh,
never
no,
get it.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm fine with just the 2 every session, and then the 3rd if you recap.
Okay.
But that's me personally. If someone else has the stronger opinions on it, I'm also fine with whatever.
Looking right.
Is
I
there
feel
a
like-
way? Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Would there be a way for players to nominate another player to gain a hero point mid-session?
Not sure mid-session. Maybe at the break.
Okay.
Maybe at the break and then the end of session. I'd allow it. I'm also down to do what I did for As Above So Below, which is where I worked with each character to figure out a thing that fit their character, a prompt that if you were able to fulfill it, you would get inspiration automatically. For example, we had
Baldur's Gate thing.
we had a Topaz Dragonborn, and their whole thing was necrosis and death and decay. And their thing was if they ever were able to remind an NPC for the first time or a party member about the unending wheel of decay and death and that they're going to die one day and bring them down, they get free inspiration. One of the characters was listening to someone older than you's advice. Things like that I can do, but inspiration was given out way more in 5e than it was in PF2e, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're fine with not having a trigger?
I'm fine with the 2, personally.
Okay. Very well.
No, I kind of feel like if you're donating one of your own, it should be like it's square in that way because it's not like we're adding an extra one. But I don't know. I also think people should be allowed to fuck up.
Yeah.
Depends on how grievous the option
So
is.
I won't allow people to share their hero points, but I will allow you at the 15-minute break of every session for everyone to nominate at the end of break someone to get a hero point. And, tell me a moment in the session that fit, and you get a free hero point. And that way you can give hero points out as a party, but only one of them per session. Sound good?
I think we'll get in the trap of gaming it at some point. That's my
I was
word.
wondering if you were about that too.
Yeah. We get to level 5, 6, like, all right, guys, 15-minute break. We all know it. He goes to the barbarian. The guy who's standing up front, getting his sheep bit in every turn.
What did they do that was cool? Come on, quickly think of something.
The guy who's on the floor for us.
Yeah, it'd
Alternatively,
be a
and I
little too
don't
easy to
know
game it.
if this is something that you'd be interested in doing, you could maybe wrangle in Twitch chat to nominate someone.
Ah, that's a good idea. What do you guys
Yeah.
think, chat?
Third party.
Would you guys like every single break, at the end of break, for you guys to be able to tell me which person deserves a hero point? I'd be down.
We could do a poll, and then by the end of break.
Oh, that's a very good idea. Thank you. So how would that work?
Twitch engagement.
slash poll.
I think there should be. I've actually never done it. Or
Slash poll should work, but I think there's an ascension that makes it better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. But
should be a thing you just put options in and set a timer and then.
could one of my mods try to pull up a poll and list every single character as a deserver of hero points, and then have it go for 15 minutes and see if that works?
Sure.
I know there's a limit to the options.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can try and make one. I actually don't know how. I've never had to do one.
Slash poll, and should be able to, from there, be easy.
Let's see.
As far as I'm
And-
aware.
Yeah, I think
I
it'll
don't really
just
see-
pop up.
Okay, yeah. Minimum 2, up to 5. So perfect. Just the amount.
And I only really suggest this because I think user engagement with the, we are streaming, right? It's a
Yeah.
feature of what we're doing. I think it's
Mhm.
good. I
Yeah,
think
we
I like
see
it.
you, Chad.
We
Right
see
there.
you. I see you, Grey Crow. I see you. Thank you, Carsifona, for the ID dice
wow.
for red. Right, you get to start the campaign with an ID dice.
Yeah, what the heck? That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Carsifon, I see how it is. You're just picking favorites. I feel like we went through hell together. Is that everything good? Okay, that's fine.
Hmm.
Just kidding, Carsifon. I love you. Sorry.
Is there any other ways that you guys want to involve the Twitch chat or any chat in general? Have them be Gebites, or
That's okay.
maybe I'll ask the Twitch chat in general to watch the party. If they say any slander about Geb ever, I want you to tell me. Leave a comment, immediately chat about it, so that I can
Whoa.
forward it through.
What? No, they're not gonna snitch on us.
Any
They're our
slander
homies.
against Geb. And also, if anyone says, oh my god, or Jesus, instead
When
of
was that?
saying Geb.
And
Why
was that
isn't
by the
That I do not agree to.
Why isn't Jesus?
I'm
in
not
the,
drinking
in
the Geb sauce that
Galarian
hard.
Pantheon.
I ask
Yeah,
everyone
that's-
to drink the Geb sauce.
I think Jesus should be in the Galarian
I'm
Pantheon.
not drinking Geb sauce. Where we got it from? It's homemade.
Come on in. It's filled with giblets and
Ew.
delicious
Oh.
flesh and bones. It's good for your bones.
No, we're okay. We know Twitch chat is, the export guild. They're importing us hero points.
Ah, there we go. There it is. Okay. I will. If anybody wants to do that, you're welcome to. I encourage it. I encourage it. The party probably doesn't. But it keeps me knowing who I can. What's the word?
Mm-hmm.
Punish?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
I
it.
think it's cute.
Thank you. Thank you. This chat is Gebites. If there's anything said against Geb, I want to know about it. Maybe I miss it. Maybe I'm doing a ruling. Maybe I'm killing a monster. Maybe I'm killing a player. We'll find out. All right. Let's see.
Oh shit, I didn't even see that this effect of Touch the Void was great.
Which one?
If I heal myself, it's like I get a flat 6 HP back, but I also get a +2 status bonus to damage rolls for a round. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
it's really strong. And then you also have the thing from your version of your aura, right? Your shield.
See, I was wondering about that. I don't actually know because the champion's aura doesn't really say anything
Oh, you
until.
click-
But when I go to desecration, it
Yep.
says I don't get that effect until I get exalted reaction, which is 11th level.
No, you should see it. Champion's reaction right there under desecration.
Nope.
And
Oh, selfish shield, yeah, yeah.
that's
no,
the one that you
I've
have.
got that all day long, but that's not.
so what you do is if you have touch of the void, and then selfish shield is your bread and butter. It's what's going to keep you alive. It's
I know.
extremely strong.
I know. That's not what I'm saying.
But it should give you a +1 spirit damage, right? And then if you have the touch of the void, it should be +3 damage, which doubles your bonus damage.
Oh, I have to. Let me see. I have to target someone. Oh.
Hey, Hey, Red, do you know if Minotaurs have low light vision?
I don't. Hold on. Not off the top of my head. Let's see.
I don't actually know how.
Dark vision.
Okay, I am the only one with any special senses.
I have dark vision.
I can.
Yeah,
do
I have dark vision.
Yeah, I have none. I have no.
Oh,
low
you
light
don't
or-
have special senses.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I'm the only one.
Oh no.
I'll be
I
the
have low
torchbearer, I
light.
guess. Swinging
I mean,
a
even
scythe.
though I have low light, I still can't see in the dark, so I'm gonna hang out with you.
Mhm.
Same.
What's
Human.
up, Ren?
For a while at
I
least.
didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to bed.
What?
Okay.
I'm
Early?
getting sleepy.
You going bed early?
I'm going to bed. early.
Bitch.
Okay.
That's okay, unless you'd like me to
Yeah.
stick around, but I'm getting sleepy. I'm sorry.
That's
I don't think we got anything else to talk about, do we?
I'm about, I don't know, I got like 4 more tabs worth.
Brother, what have we
about-
been doing this whole time?
About the Suspicion Zeros take a while. I was gonna go into like properly describing how giving aid works, the exploration activities and its macros, stealth and how we want to handle stealth, traps because I've noticed that there's been some frustrations against traps in my other campaigns. I wanted to go into vendors, or if we wanted to make things quick on shops within large towns.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can you send me the cliff notes?
Oh, it's group choice.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I think that means that we have to discuss what we want to do when it comes to things like, do we want to actually have roleplay sessions where we buy things from people, or do we just want to say, I go to this shop over here and I'm going to buy some things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have downtime, so there is no shopping.
There is downtime in the campaign. There is going to be sections of the campaign. It's just not going to be soggy levels. There will be many months that pass, I believe, during this campaign.
Very dry.
Moist, dry season.
Very dry and arid.
Alright, well, Muffins, do you have any strong emotions about anything that was listed?
Nope.
Sounds like they'll go with whatever we pick
Mm,
and should be able to go to sleep.
I work
Very
in
well.
the morning. I'm sorry.
go to bed then.
I'm going to bed. I
Have a good
will
night.
leave stream on while I sleep.
Uh-huh.
Good night.
Bye.
Earn those points.
All right. So, when it comes to traps, hazards, haunts, which, I mean, you're in Bloodlords, there's going to be some amount of haunting. Do you guys want me to give more appropriate prompts? Or should I wait with the expectation that one of you guys is seeking during exploration mode so that you can roll against their hiding?
It's rough because so many TTRPGs are you are the heroes exploring dangerous places. It would be silly not to, imagine that they aren't looking out for danger, but I don't know. Depends on the level of lethality and how often.
Well, I think that's kind of the funny part because we're also playing a horror campaign
Mm-hmm.
where such things might be commonplace and we might not see it as a danger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think unless someone is, actually taking the seek action, or search, I guess it is, in
Mhm.
exploration, that everyone else is not.
Aware of it.
That's not necessarily actively perceiving.
For such traps and haunts. Instead, you're looking for defense, ghouls, creatures around the corners, things like that. Rather
Yeah, yeah.
than a weird rune on a wall somewhere.
Yeah, treating someone's wounds while walking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good. Big one. Really big one. Other creature rules. Losing your character to undeath. Now, there is a solid opportunity / chance, depending on your view on it, that during the campaign, and Red, you've already made yourself clear on this, don't worry, that you will die. And you might not die from a normal suspect. Whether you're killed via being eaten alive by ghouls, whether you're killed through ingestion via zombie, whether you are punished through, your crimes against Geb and mummified, whether you are bitten by definitely not a vampire and find yourself turned into a spawn, there are a plethora of archetypes in Pathfinder 2e for being these characters. If such an opportunity arises, I may approach you in private after your character dies and offer you such a thing. The only one I will not offer, and is instead one that is available for this campaign, but that you must pursue, is the Lich archetype. That is the only one that cannot be stumbled into, if you will.
Can't be killed by a lich to become one. Got it.
No. You have to actively make a soul
Because
cage.
liches love other liches. They
Yeah.
just want...
They want to make more all the time. Yes. No, you can actively become a lich in this campaign, but it is a goal you must seek and pursue. Just throwing it out there. All right. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about being brought back, or which ones are available as playable? No?
No qualms for me. Do it.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's see. Spell abuse. All right, here's a big one, because you guys aren't allowed to use vitality damage, right? You're not allowed to use heal. You're not allowed to use things that usually would work against undead. I expect you all to have abilities, please look through your sheet, that work against both mindless enemies and undead that are void immune. If you do not have a method of dealing with one or two, and it can be just as easy as smacking someone with a big stick, you know, that's fine. That works. That is your weapon of cause. Just make sure that you have a method of dealing with a mindless creature and dealing with an undead creature. Otherwise, you should be fine. I do not want to see Electric Arc used 17 million times, though. Or days. Or days.
What about Divine Lance?
Divine Lance is fine. That is the bread and butter. That is a bread and butter ability that is given.
Thank Geb.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, by the way. That is a ability that is given with retrospect to deal divine damage. That is the bread and butter of your class. And if I took that away from you, that'd be dumb, you know? Kind of like if I said that Kaz can't exploit availability every single time that they attack. It'd be stupid. They're automateurs. All right. Let's see. That should be good. That should be good. Yeah. I will condense everything for you guys on what I was going to get to, considering we are down somebody. In that case, I was going to have a little intro to the campaign, but I don't feel like that is warranted with the player missing. No punish
I
them.
agree.
So I will save the intro / scene for the first session next week. If that's all right with everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. That leaves us 45 minutes overtime to fumble through your macros, make sure everything's okay, ask questions about your further build to level 20. Oh, do you guys have access to the Greaterge map?
I got landing.
Okay, give me one sec. I'll make it visible. Thank you. That is something that I forgot that I should do. Figure all players. There you
Bro,
go.
Batman's adventure is getting a little, a little loud up there.
All right, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
What parts of it can you see?
I see the city, regions, Grey Wasteland.
Meat Market, Bold Scrape, Governor's Quarter, the Ovens, Court of Ghouls, Nash's, Haldalia's Estate, Bloodlord's Grace.
Like the large text pieces. I don't know if there's any small ones.
Sounds good. I was-
See it.
Scream, the same thing that you can see.
I was going to use the last of the session to do the intro to the campaign and explain a bit of Grey Dirge, because you guys are starting here and your character's likely been here before. There is an explanation in the player's guide, but it was just going to be set up for the viewers and you guys. Do you guys still want that, or would you guys rather end off early?
I'd rather wait till we have Muffin, because I'm sure they'd want to see it too. Like, get the actual intro and everything.
This I was just going to talk about Grey Dirge as like a place.
Well, I read through it with you, so I am a knower.
Okay. In that case, I will read about it to the viewers so that they are, because that was something that I was planning on doing. But I won't do it now. I'll wait and I'll do that whenever, after that. But Red, you have a character idea, right, that you want to go for?
Mm.
Did you want any help in building that while you have the whole party here? Or would you like to work on that with me alone after the session?
No, I think it should be good. Yeah, we should. We'll definitely have to talk some more.
After the session?
Yeah,
Okay, works for me.
but as far as like my role and stuff on the party, I think we're good for that.
Works for me. Alright, in that case, I will read for the viewers. If you guys want to, it is in the player's guide. So if you've already read it, you've already read it. But I will read it for viewers and for the session zero's sake. Just so that everyone has the context that you guys do going to session 1.
Story time.
Story time, everyone. Story time. Bone Shrouded. Grey Dirge is a remote city located in the eastern foothills of the Shattered Range. Ancient and grim, the city has remained free of significant invasions or disasters for thousands of years, despite its distance from larger fortified cities like Mekatar and Yeled. This is largely due to its impressive fortifications of bone and stone, and its sizable population of ghouls and necromancers, aligned with the zombie-tilled fields that surround it for miles in every direction, and provided a natural or unnatural barrier to any would-be invaders. Let me give you guys some art.
Hey, this castle's too spooky around here. You can't be putting this spooky castle here.
This is our spooky castle. Get out of here. It's too spooky for you. Why don't you just leave?
Sorry.
That's
They're all upset. Someone released all the bats when they should have.
Grey Dirge once served as a remote military outpost positioned to intercept troops invading Geb along the eastern edge of the Shattered Range, rapidly expanding during the war between Geb and its rival Nex. The city's architects first decided to use bones to construct the city and the buildings with its fortifications simply because the material was so plentiful and provided an unmistakably disconcerting appearance. What began as a convenience quickly evolved into a tradition, then a respected architectural style. Grey Dirge is ruled by a single high governor with absolute authority over all municipal decisions. In practice, the high governor can do little to enact changes in policy and serves mostly as an enforcer of existing laws. The city's civic administrators comprise a small coterie of functionaries that are appointed by and can be removed by the High Governor. Unsurprisingly, all of them are mere toadies who grovel before the governor to maintain their insecures. The current High Governor is Tafkekha 7 stomachs, is as ineffective as those who's come before him, and as aghast, smells significantly worse than all of those that came before him. The nation's bloodlords technically outrank Greater's High Governor, but few have any reason to even visit the out-of-the-way city, much less intervene with its government. The exception is Greater's only resident bloodlord, Berline Haddoli, a halfling necromancer with close ties to the nation's reanimator factions. Berline was responsible for food production in the zombie-worked farms that sprawl around her city. And that's the exact person that brings our coterie of creatures into her halls. And when we start our campaign, we won't be in Hadoli's estate, but I'll save the surprise, since we're missing someone, for next week. Well, I suppose there's nothing else to do here, but wait. What's one more week to the undead? All right. I think that's everything. I can't really do the rest of these. So I will instead call this a night. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to end the stream here and have this uploaded before the first session so that everyone can get prepped. Trust me, we'll all be in attire for next week, and please share it around if you want everyone to show up for the session 1. I hope everyone in this party is excited for the horrors they will wrought and be wrought upon. And I'll be in New Digs along with the party. Anything you guys want to say before we get off the stream?
Nope.
Okay. Sounds good. You guys all have a wonderful night. Take care. Die. And come back for next week. Bye-bye.
In-game. 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 In-game.
In-game.
Wait,
In-game.
what was that
In-game.
last
In-game.
part?
In-game. 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 In-gab. 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 In-gab.
In-game.
In-gab.